What's up, everybody? Welcome to Louis Marcos. This morning we received all the news. Nasser El Somebody is no longer. May he rest in peace. You guys should know him, right? For the unaware, he was one of the biggest stars in the 90s when it comes to bodybuilding, right? It was the years actually when I started lifting. I was passionate about the thing, right? Back then there was no internet at first, so we were seeing this guy on magazines. We were fascinated. If you guys don't know the game, he is actually by all measures the epitome, the first freak that hit the stage. It was a shockwave, right? In 1995 when it first started, right? Granted, Dorian Yates actually published some freaky pictures in 1993 Flex magazines. However, when he came in stage, he was lighter. Those pictures were taken a few weeks prior to the contest, and when he came in 93, he was definitely at least 15 up to 20 pounds lighter, so we never saw him that big on stage. And the first time where Dorian Yates was somehow frightened by a bigger guy than him, harder guy than him, it was Nasser El Somebody. He was killing him. He was literally dwarfing Dorian Yates in the front poses. He was literally 20 pounds heavier, same height and whatever. Everybody was basically shocked by this new guy. He literally transformed himself from 1994 to 1995. If I do recall, 1994 he placed 7th in Mr. O. Next year he was 3rd, right? Yeah, the second was Kevin Lavroni. Anyway, it was like a revolution. And he started this craziness of people loving freaks on stage. You guys recall with the internet era, and even right now, where Marcus Rule was hitting the stage. Everybody was yelling Rule. Right now they're yelling Wolf, or sometimes they yell when Branch Warren goes on stage. We to confess, these guys, I mean the underground, basically hardcore bodybuilding fans love the freaks. They love them even more than the champions. Nasser El Somebody was that guy. He was receiving most cheers, most applauds, better than even Dorian Yates, the reigning Mr. O back then. Forget about you, Ronnie Coleman and Dorian Yates back then. This guy was literally dwarfing them in the front poses. He was the only dude that I know of that can hit a front lat spread while flexing his abs. You cannot see that. He was that jacked. He was locking the front pose when it comes to the most muscular pose, the grab pose. He was locking it in such a way there was no space you can put your finger in. He was locking the whole thing, right? 285, dry condition on stage, right? He was extreme, right? And some people call him the uncrowned Mr. O in 1997, which I agree with. Dorian was off, and definitely it was the best shape of Nasser El Somebody. Anyway, it brought a lot of memories for me. As I said, I used to like this thing, definitely more than I follow it right now. It was the era, right? The 90s, when bodybuilding really exploded into the scene. The 80s were kind of blame in a sense. We had Lee Haney reigning, but nothing major. 90s was a real thing, even by today's accounts. When you hear Sean Ray or Flex Wheeler, they still talk about that epoch as being the real golden epoch of bodybuilding. So that's it. It brought a lot of memories. You guys can see the pictures. He died at 48. As per the accounts, it's not confirmed as of yet. It is kidney failure. So there you have it, guys. We will not speculate. I will just say, may he rest in peace. It's too fresh to say anything about this. But you guys know the drill. There is no free ride. That's in extreme conditions. And by the way, let me tell you this, because I was following the dude's career since I was following the thing rather closely. He was small at first. He was a regular-looking bodybuilder up to 1994. Here are some pictures. He was definitely an average-looking guy, and all of a sudden, boom! When Dorian Yates came in 93, he was big, a bit. Everybody wanted to compete in the mass game, and the reigning freak, the reigning ogre was by all measures Nasser El Sambari. I mean, the first time we saw Doniez being frightened on stage, he was literally trying to flee from the front poses next to Nasser. It was a 95 because he showed him what's up. The same year, actually, Kevin came bigger. And as you guys know, I'm on the link, another link at the bottom where you see all the guys getting crazy big. Even Flex Wheeler added in excess of 23 pounds dry. It was the British Grand Prix. Some people say that it is basically the best condition. These guys were the biggest. Ronnie Coleman, Flex Wheeler, Kevin, Nasser, and so on. Right. So the link is at the bottom. There you have it, guys. There is no free ride. People on forums right now, they're saying it's all about SLIN. Obviously, SLIN is a slang for insulin. You be the judge. All I know is that he was literally 330 pounds off season, the weight of Nasser El Sambari, while his abs were still showing. So you get the picture. Of course, he was not natural. Openly talking about it. He also spoke about the death of his friend and fellow countryman, because Nasser is half Egyptian and half Austrian. He was speaking about a countryman who died as well. His name is Andreas Monzer, Mr. Shredded or Mr. Cut. That was another extreme. The guy who was the most cut in the history of bodybuilding is an Austrian guy called Andreas Monzer. He also died as well, right? He had literally tumors as big as a ping pong ball in his liver, right? You guys get the picture. You know, a lot of casualties from the 90s. You know, Flex Wheeler, he had kidney failures. He is a kidney transplant survivor. We had Mike Matarazzo, heart issues, 3 operations so far, if I'm not mistaken. We had another kidney failure, Mike Francois, go ahead and Google that dude. He won the Arnold Classic, actually, and he won actually in 94, the Night of Champion in front of Nasser El Sambari. Nasser was second, if I'm not mistaken, right? And several others. So there is no free ride. That's what's up. If you see guys on Facebook coming towards you, literally clearly enhanced and having that dry look, there is no free ride in this lifetime. Everything you do has a price for it. Think about it. That's all we say. But until then, may he rest in peace. He was truly the epitome of the freak. Forget about your Marcus Rule, but your Dorian Yates. This guy was literally dwarfing these guys on stage. Have a nice one. Dice to the side.